Hello and all, it's Nerdcraft here, bringing you Game 1 of a Best of 5 series here, spawning on the Shattered Temple's eastern position is going to be Complexity MVP SC, our Blue Terran, and his opponent spawning cross positions on the western side of the Shattered Temples is none other than MKP MarineKing.Prime himself. So, I'm very excited, I sound excited. Am I very excited? Because MarineKing.Prime is my favorite player, and I just love casting him. His control is just ridiculously great. Of course, he's also been known for the second place guy. He's come second place in, I believe, two GSL finals, I believe. Don't quote me on that though. It's just off the top of my head kind of thing. And Complexity MVP SC, I don't really know much about him, but I know he's a very good player. He's on Team MVP, so you have to be a pretty good player to be on that team. So they're both going to be getting up their supply depots, and here we're going to have an 11 refinery here coming up from MarineKing. Now what does this mean? This actually indicates quite a few things, but it mainly indicates mech or early Hellion pressure, possibly even Banshee. We know Banshee openings in TVT is a very, very popular build, and I'm just watching MarineKing play around with his SCVs, and it's just like, wow, why can't I do that? Why can't I be just this good? Same with SC, just why are they so good? Why can't I be like that? And now SC is getting a later refinery, about a 13 by the looks of it, with a 13 refinery, 14 barracks, I believe, or 13-13, 12-13 as well. I kind of missed the timing, so sorry about that. But they're both kind of going the same build. MarineKing is, of course, a little ahead on that gas count, but SC, he also has a bit of a marine, or not marine, but mineral lead, just because he's mining more minerals too. And apparently it's really cold for MarineKing and SC. They're referring to their hands mainly. The warmer your hands, the better you play. If your hands are cold, you're gonna have a harder time playing. This is from MLG, so yeah, that was in Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island's pretty cold. Now factory is coming up, so as to whether this is going to indicate that Hellion pressure, not sure, but but SC is going to see everything, and he is just sticking on barracks right now. He's also putting up a factory. Tech Lab here coming from MarineKing, so maybe some early tank pressure, just like get an early siege and and then just try to throw SC off with parking two tanks about right here and just picking off their Marines. That's really good. It's always fun to play with the cliffs when you're Terran and playing with the tanks. No, actually, we're gonna go straight into a starport and do Hellion Banshee. So it looks like I was kind of more on the money. My first guess is gonna go for that Hellion Banshee build. Now the second guess here is coming from SC, so he's possibly going to go into Banshees as well, would not be surprised, or just straight into production. Nope, he's going for Hellions, so I get the feeling he's maybe going to do Vikings or just go straight into Marine Tank. I've noticed this a lot in TVT, actually T in general, for Terran players, is they are starting to really fall in love with the Hellion. It was really disregarded for the earlier half of StarCraft 2, and then of course MLG Anaheim, when the Slayers players just completely showed, hey, the Hellion is freaking awesome, and of course with the nerf it kind of wasn't used anymore, but now people are finding that a Hellion is actually a really good solid opening. And here we have Starport coming up, a Vikings coming up, so it looks like SC is going to be suspecting some sort of Banshee play. I have no idea how he can suspect such a thing, because this is all he has seen, but I suppose it's just kind of one of those, you've seen it so much you kind of know it. And so as to how he's going to respond to these Hellions Marines, it's going to be very interesting, but he's going to have that Viking ready to go even when the Banshee does come in. And as you can see, the Banshee is going to probably meet up with these guys over here. Not going to go in by herself. No, MarineKing is going to have her come along with him. Now going for the expansion. I love this by MarineKing. Even if he doesn't put on a direct amount of damage, this is gonna let MarineKing get pretty far ahead by denying the expansion. Just putting a little light pressure on, and as you can see, easily repelled by SC. He almost lost that Banshee, but was able to keep it. I believe it was the siege tank that really kept everything alive. If there was no siege tank there, I believe Marine King could have just, with his amazing control, just done some crazy amount of damage. And here we're going to have the repair on the Banshee, getting a Viking as well. Very good idea there. This Viking's going to try and get a scout. He is going to see the expansion is going up. He's like, okay, expansion's going up. This is kind of what I thought, but of course these Hellions are going to deny anything, and they're both tied up at 51 supplies, so very interesting. You know, Marine King now taking the lead because he got some more supply, and it's not a huge lead. Now tanks are in production now, but no siege mode is being researched for either of them, which is very interesting. Don't know. Okay, SC is understandable. He's just trying to dislodge these Hellions so he can get his expansion going. Also doing a wall off right there. Very smart when Hellions are out on the field. Very smart to get that wall off. But it looks like SC might just be going for some sort of one base play. He has 2 Vikings. Marine King only. Oh, he does have 2 Vikings as well. And you know, no medevacs. So this Banshee is going to be picked off right away. Now these Vikings, they're just. They decided to transform at the worst time, and here's the engagement. These Hellions are going to wreak havoc on these Marines, and all the Marines are going to go down here. Some Hellions going down as well. Last Hellion is actually being mass repaired by SCVs. This is an immortal Hellion right there, and SC is going to be repelled. Doesn't even matter that he lost the Banshee. These Vikings are just really helping him in ground support, and looks like going to lose that. Oh, almost lost that tank, but no, he's not going to lose that at all. By the looks at 5 health on that tank, you have to take it. Even an SCV. An SCV can take it out. No, wrong tank. Just please take out that tank. I want that tank gone. No, those SCVs are committed. Now, all the SCVs are being pulled here from SC. Well, not all of them, but a good majority. Mainly mass repair, and here comes the engagement on the ramp. Vision is for, actually, both of them have the same vision because of this Viking, and looks like Marine King is going to just go out, see if he can pick off any air units, but no, looks like no. No looks like no. Talk about redundancy. He's just going to be scouting around these Vikings. He's going to try and provoke an attack from the Vikings so he can maybe pick off a Viking or two, get that, you know, air superiority, which is so essential in TVT. And just going to fall back, and you know, Marine King is ahead about roughly 20 supply. Well, actually 19 to be specific. 19 supply, and I'm not really sure what SC is going to be doing here. He's going to go into, by the looks of it, oh no, Viking production. No medevacs have been made. This is very interesting. 10 minutes in the game, not a single medevac has been made. This is kind of just a back and forth slug match from both of them. But again, Marine King is very much in the lead because he has this expansion here. He's a 41 harvesters to 35, but he's also at 1,400 minerals a minute to measly 1,000. Now siege mode is done for SC, and Marine King hasn't even researched his, I believe. Nope, he has not. So this is going to be the solid defense that SC is looking for to expand, which he's just about to do. And it looks like Stim is being researched for SC as well, and Marine King. So SC, he's playing the defensive right now. He knows it's going to come down to positioning for him and the Viking count, which if we look here, the Viking count is in SC's favor by just 1, but you know, with the reactor, oh actually yeah, no, he's also making 2, so SC is going to be able to have air superiority very soon, 78 to 110 supply. So you know, not much, there's been a huge discrepancy between Marine King and SC when it comes to the supply, but SC's kind of doing really cost-effective trades. He's had a couple of you know, really bad engagements, but he's still holding on there. He's just going to be relying on positioning and tech now, as well as his air superiority. And Marine King, by the looks of it, just going to go for his gold. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm in the lead. I know I'm in the lead. I'm going to go for the gold. He's finally getting his siege tech research at the 12-minute mark. Me, when I play, I'm like, I get siege mode right as soon as that tech lab is finished on my factory. Is like, there's no way I'm not going to have tanks without siege mode. I don't know why. Now these Vikings, I like what they're doing. I've noticed this too from a lot of Terran players, particularly Korean Terran players. They get a lot of Vikings with a Banshee or a Raven, and you know, they constantly patrol around where the drops are vulnerable, and looks like Marine King is going to go in for a huge push. He scans, sees that there is indeed siege tanks, so he's not going to go into that, and all of his Vikings are going to be taken out. Ooh, 1 goes down. So he lost 2 Vikings in that engagement. Not good at all for Marine King. And oh man, there's a reflection off the windshield of a car that's passing by, hit the mirror, hit my eyes. I am in excruciating amounts of pain right now, and looks like SC is going to be getting his third ready to go. He's most likely just going to expand right here, but Marine King is also, his expansion to the gold is just about finished, so he's going to have that great lead. Marine King has been pretty much in the lead this entire game, and Combat Shield as well as 1-1 for both of them being researched. In Armory coming up here for Marine King. He's going to start getting those superior upgrades, which he does not have at all, but he's going to try and possibly get plating or attack for his Vikings, so he can pump out a lot of Vikings and finally be able to, like, have a chance against these. Now the Sentry Tower is up now, and Marine King is going to be, I love this. I love putting the Sentry Tower forward. It's such a great idea because no matter what the your opponent does, you'll know, because you just have such a great diameter. If he tries to come around and flank you or sneak around, there's no way that you can do it without getting caught, because it's just, there's such a huge radius right here. So that's very good from Marine King. I love it so much. 169 to 133. Again, that just huge supply lead that Marine King has had all game, and we are going to have a tank and marine drop right there, and these Marines do see it. They tried to stop it, but great sieging up right here on this ridge. You're going to be able to put some pressure on Marine King. The entire point of this drop is to try to dislodge this army, try to get it to just push out, but as you see, Marine King is going to clean this up really well. Even the tanks are going to go down. That tank is actually lost, so no, there's some really bad losses there from Marine King, but everything is eventually cleaned up. He did lose mining time, so it wasn't exactly the greatest effective drop ever, and now we just have this trench warfare, this classic trench warfare, and SC is getting ready to go. He has a superior tank count here. He has 8 to 7. Oh, and this huge siege of the great vision there from SC. He's going to be able to take out everything. He's not even going to lose this tank by the looks of it, and he's just going to try and sneak forward. He has the air superiority, and he knows it. And he's like, anything you do, I can do better because of my Vikings. So he's just going to start picking away at all of these tanks. As Marine King is going to have to start using scans, which you see here, and he's costing mule, and the entire time SC can mule up anytime he wants. By the looks of it, he could probably lose it. He's sitting at 100 minerals, and now starting to pick out the Marines as well. So he did take out quite a bit of tanks, but there is still a scary number of tanks there. Scanning there to see that there's this party there. I don't know if you really notice it, but they're going to try a backdoor over here, which is going to be a great idea there. These all sort of autumn colored Vikings right there, and I think SC did actually lose one, but not sure. Sentry Tower was finally taken out, so all of SC's moves are now more secretive to Marine King, and unsieging just to get out of the range of those tanks. And you can see over here that SC is going to go for Marine King is going to go for his fourth, and just another army getting ready for Marine King, and one tank and 7 Marines constantly being produced from SC. Really like this, really great job from him. And these Marines, the scouting for that expansion, see that it's not there, so Marine King thinking he definitely has a great position. I'm kind of curious as to why SC hasn't done anything, but here's the huge stim up. He's going to go into the siege tank line. He siege up the tanks, and the Marines are just wreaking havoc upon everything. There are no medevacs, though, to heal these guys up, and 3 medevacs trying to keep up. These Marines they're going to be able to be wiped out really fast if they were desired from one tank, actually, by the looks of it. And and now SC is finally evening up on supply. It's 177 to 183, and SC just took complete map control. But look at this from Marine King. He is ready to counter attack. He's got a lot of Marines right there. 8, 16, 19 Marines just going in with 3 medevacs. This is going to have quite a while for SC to take this out, and but it looks like he's going to try and go for SCVs. Huge amount of SCV loss, but at the same time trying to siege up the third here. going to be able to take that out with the Vikings, and this one with his tanks. I always want to see 37 workers killed for Marine King. And this game is just suddenly heating up. This is what I love about TVT. It goes so slow, but once it gets going, it's just amazing. Now finally, all the Marines being pushed back, production being taken out by all these Marines, and all these Marines are finally cleaned up. There's just 3 more. They're going to get in the medevacs and get out of here. But he just lost so much SCVs. I don't know how SC could handle losing 37, and Marine King's tanks are going to try and flank from behind, but they're going into siege tanks, going to try and get into this, and by the looks of it, he's going to clean this all up and barely lose anything. There's the Manor Mule GG. Marine King takes the first game, so I hope you guys really enjoyed that game. I definitely did. Stick around for game number 2.